Hello everyone, welcome to this video presentation on quantitative data analysis using Excel. Today, I'll walk you through how we can apply Excel to analyze and interpret numerical. Quantitative data analysis is a method used to examine numerical data to find patterns, relationships, or summaries. Excel, on the other hand, is a practical tool for this because it allows us to compute, visualize, and interpret data easily without even advanced programming skills. We'll be working with a simple dataset of 10 students. So the data includes their student ID, their gender, age, the number of hours they studied, and their exam scores. This simple data set is enough to demonstrate a wide range of statistical functions and visualization techniques. So here is the sample data set. So there are some basic statistical functions in Excel because Excel provides several built-in functions to perform basic statistical analysis. We have the average, the median, the mode. Average returns the arithmetic mean showing the typical score. Median returns the middle number in a sorted dataset. And then the mode returns the most frequently occurring number. We also have the standard deviation, the count, and the mean or max function. The standard deviation shows how spread out the scores are. Count function counts the number of valid entries, and the mean and max function help us identify the highest and the lowest values. So aside from calculations, we can visualize data using charts. A column chart can display exam scores across students. A pie chart is helpful for showing gender distribution. A scatter plot helps us visualize the relationship between hours studied and exam scores. And histogram shows us how scores are distributed, which is useful for understanding overall trends. This is true to our previous dataset being presented a while ago. So interpreting your results is just as important as computing them. So for example, if students who studied longer tend to score higher, that suggests a positive relationship. Understanding these insights helps us draw conclusions that are meaningful in real-world scenarios, like improving study habits or designing academic interventions. So here's a sample research context. The research title is The Relationship Between Study Habits and Academic Performance Among DSIT Students. So we use the average to determine the typical exam score. The standard deviation will be used to measure how spread out the scores are. And then we also use the mean or max to identify extremes. The count function helps us to analyze group sizes, and scatter plot helps us understand how study hours may affect performances. So this tool allows us to answer questions like, does studying more actually help improve scores? Or this helps in determining if increased study time leads to higher academic success. So our dataset includes information from 10 students. For each student, we collected their gender, the age, the number of hours studied, and their exam score. This small data set helps us perform key statistical computations and visualization or visualize the results using Microsoft Excel. So let's begin with computing some descriptive statistics. So first, we calculate the average exam score using the average function. So we have here the formula to find the general performance of the group. So the average mean exam score for all students is approximately, we have here 87.50. This suggests that the general performance level of the group is fairly high. Next, the median using the function median gives us the midpoint score, which is helpful if we have outliers. So we have here the median function or the formula. The median score representing the middle value when all scores are being sorted is 87. We have here 87.5 or 87.50. Close to the average, which implies a roughly symmetrical distribution of scores. The standard deviation using the stdelf.p function tells us how consistent or spread out the scores are. So we have here the formula for the standard deviation. And then we have a standard deviation of 4.1292. So the standard deviation indicates how spread out the exam scores are from the average. A small value here would mean most scores are close to the mean, while a larger value means there's a more variability in performance. Then we also compute the maximum and the minimum scores using the max and the min function to see the highest and the lowest performance. The max score is 95, so here is the formula. And then the min score is 80. Here is also the formula used in getting the mean score. So this range shows a performance spread of 15 points among the students because we have 95 and we have 80. And finally, we use COUNTIF to calculate the number of male and female students in the class. So based on the COUNTIF function, so there are 5 female students. So here is the formula in getting the number of female students. And then we also have 5 male students. Here is also the formula for that. So this means the sample has a balanced gender representation, which is ideal for comparative analysis. Now, let's visualize the data using Excel charts. A column chart displays each student's exam score. So this gives us a quick view of who scored highest and who may need support. So we have here the column chart. This displays the exam scores per student. A pie chart illustrates the gender distribution, which in our case is exactly 50% male and 50% female. It shows equal gender distribution of 50-50 split. And finally, a scatter plot is used to compare hours studied with exam scores. So it shows a positive correlation, which means the more a student studied, the higher their score tended to be. So we have here our scatter plot. The scatter plot illustrates a positive relationship. So as the number of hours studied increases, so does the exam scores. So this suggests that more study time generally leads to a better performance. Overall results of the study, the data shows a moderately high performance trend among students with fairly consistent scores. The balanced gender distribution allows for fair comparisons, and the strong positive correlation between hours studied and exam score reinforces the value of good study habits. So that ends our presentation. Thank you for watching.